Otis. Taylor. Here. Hoffman.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Yocum.
Thank you very much. Everyone kindly rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would now entertain a motion to approve minutes dated December 3rd, 2024. By Commissioner Erickson Gold, seconded by Commissioner Loops. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes have been approved. I would now entertain a motion to approve minutes dated January 13th, 2025. Moved by Commissioner Loops, seconded by Commissioner Joliet. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes dated January 13th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those minutes have been approved. I would now entertain a motion to approve today's agenda. You might have to refresh your screens. There is one change. Any motions? Moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Loops. All in favor of approving today's agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Our agenda's been approved. Sorry, everyone, I'm talking a little bit fast today. That brings us to our first public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on any item on today's agenda, please identify yourself. No? All right, we'll move on then to the agenda. Brings us to our communications items. I'm gonna take them just A right now, if that's all right with all of you. A is one that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. This is just our upcoming appointment schedule, the ones that we know about with terms that expire in the next year. Anyone have any discussion about that? If not, we can just file it away for your convenience. Commissioner Christensen.
These are up,
These will be up, yeah.
and it's my understanding they all want to be reappointed.
I spoke with Dennis Cowan, who's chair of the OCHN board yesterday. And his report is that the 4 people have applied to engage again with the board. And he would love to have all 4 people remain on the board.
I appreciate that. And this actually, I'm gonna put a pin in specifically in this conversation because our item 10 will be a discussion about appointing to OCHN specifically.
Okay.
Thank you though, I appreciate that. Any other discussion? Can we receive and file that communication?
Yeah, you would receive that.
I would take a motion to receive and file item A, moved by Commissioner Erickson Galt, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Item A has been filed. I would now entertain the same motion for items B and C, which are grant applications and, oh, no, maybe we should do those separately. Let's do B first, which is a grant application, FY25 Saginaw Bay Watershed Initiative Network Restoration. I have a motion to receive and file, moved by Commissioner Joliet, seconded by Commissioner Loops. Any discussion on this one, folks? Go ahead.
So since Parks are here, do you have anything that you want to say about that?
I could read you what Melissa gave me.
Sure.
She let me out of the office on my own today. This is a grant application. We had to have a waiver and Chairman Woodward signed on to it. The Saginaw Bay Watershed Initiative Network had some leftover money and it's $25,000 to restore a rare prairie fen remnant habitat.
Where?
And, at Groveland Oaks Park. And please don't ask me what a rare prairie fen remnant habitat is. I could Google it real quick.
Thank you. Just
Any other
wondering.
discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the grant application, please, pardon me.
Receive and file.
Oh, sorry, receiving and
Sorry
filing.
about
Thank you, thank you. Please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. It's been received and filed away. I would entertain a motion to receive and file grant acceptance for FY25 National Recreation and Park Association Sustaining Healthy Aging. It's item C, moved by Commissioner Loop, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. Any discussion? Mr. Ward?
Okay, $4,500 is pass-through funding through the CDC. It's a program that supports Parks and Rec professionals, increasing access, availability, participation, in physical activity, engagement, quality of life for older adults. So it's some specialized training for our adaptive recreation folks.
Looks like a plan.
Any other discussion? All right, motion on the table is to receive and file. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It's been received and filed away. Mr. Director, if you'd kindly take a spot, we'll do another thing and then come right back to y'all. We're moving on then to our human resources recommendations section. I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board item 8A, the implementation of salary administration plan first quarterly report FY25. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Christensen. Hi there.
Hi, good morning. As Commissioner Johnson said, in front of you is the first quarterly report for fiscal year 25 from the Human Resources Department for the Salary Administration Plan. On this report, we have retitling one classification within the County Executive Office of Sustainability, retitling the project manager to just manager. We have changing the salary grade of 4 classifications that impacts 4 positions, 3 in water resources, 1 in human resources, and the creation of 1 new classification that impacts one position within human resources. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments, concerns? Oh, you're usually a pretty talkative bunch. I appreciate that. Motion on the table is to recommend to the board then. Madam Clerk, would you kindly prompt that vote?
Taylor? Oh, yes. You have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Awesome. Well, that was easy. Thank you very much. We're moving back to Parks and Recreation land. I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board item 9A, Parks and Rec 2025 Strategic Partnership Grant with the City of Farmington. Moved by Commissioner Loops, seconded by Commissioner Christensen. Hello.
Hello again.
Would you kindly introduce your guest?
Absolutely. This is the Honorable Joe LaRussa, Mayor of the City of Farmington.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's his brainchild and project that he's passionate about. And it is a grant in the amount of $200,000 from local county parks. That would be a matching grant that would bring together a project that the city's been working on to build 2 fitness courts, 2 city parks, Shiawassee Park and Flanders Park. We had some dollars allocated for the next item on your agenda that were freed up because we were able to work out a really favorable agreement with the school district in the city of Pontiac. And the mayor and I had chat at a meeting, and this was one of those time-sensitive things that if we were able to move it forward quickly, they were going to be able to do construction this upcoming season, move the project forward, take advantage of the $105,000 grant from Priority Health, and their matching funds of $172,500. This is an area of the county where we don't traditionally have a very strong presence, and so it's nice for us to be able to work in the city of Farmington in this way in support of healthy lifestyles and active lifestyles. So our Parks Commission took this up and unanimously voted to recommend it to all of you. And I'm just going to turn it over to the mayor if you'd like to share anything else.
Well, thank you for your time today, and I appreciate your consideration on the item. The fitness courts are part of a national fitness challenge that's run by a national nonprofit. Their goal is to have one of these courts within 10 minutes of any resident's domicile. So they really want to promote active living, healthy lifestyle, and outdoor fitness. Our parks have not seen some new assets for adult recreation in a while, so the idea was also part of our Parks and Rec master plan to have some adult recreation facilities. So while the kids play on the playscape, the adults can walk the the walking path, get a workout in, and do it all outdoors in our beautiful parks. Late breaking news is last night the City Council unanimously appropriated our share, so we are eager to get the support to execute. We have a meeting with the National Fitness Challenge on Friday, so I'm hoping to have really good news for them and say, the council's in, the county's in. I know it still has to go to the full Board of Commissioners, but I'm hopeful that with your support, that will be something that we can count on. So thank you for your time.
And one final thing is a positive side effect. Mayor put us in touch with this organization, and we have already started conversations about trying to come up with a good countywide plan of, where to locate these between county parks, local parks, fill in those gaps. And so hopefully this will lead to even more great things happening down the road, maybe even in your districts. Appreciate your consideration of this and happy to take any questions.
Commissioner Christensen.
So fitness court, what is a fitness court?
Yeah, so there's two different layouts. One version, most of the stations are, they don't have any active components. They're, if you'd imagine body weight resistance style working out. So if you were to do pull-ups, if you were to do modified push-ups on, iron bars that are powder coated, it's very durable for outdoor. The other version, in addition to the workout facilities on one side, have an open studio space. So fitness business owners within the city, so yoga studio owners, CrossFitters, people that are already outside doing things, they have a place to stop and do some of their exercises outside. Right now, our yoga instructors, for example, if they want to do outdoor yoga, they're putting their mats on wet grass, they're on hills that are graded, they're not really on a proper spot. So the studio will go in Shiawassee Park, which is our signature recreation asset, the larger park. Flanders is more of a community park, so we're gonna do just the workout equipment in that one. So there'll be two of these, one a smaller footprint that will have the workout equipment, and then a larger footprint that has the workout equipment and a studio space for outdoor fitness court classes to be held.
Yeah, sounds just great. How big are each court?
I believe the small is 20 by 20 by 20, 20 by 30, and the large is like 20 by 50. It's a substantial installation, and we're gonna probably lay the concrete ourselves. We have other work going on in the city, so that's another way for us to save a little bit of money, is we're gonna couple it with some of our road projects and get the concrete pad laid by one of our existing contractors, rather than have NFC come in and do it as a separate side thing.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we found a lot of synergy on the project.
Question. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Not so much for Farmington, but, so this is through a grant through OCRP. Is there funding to open it up to other districts to apply for grants?
This is funding that we had allocated for the item that's next on your agenda.
Okay,
We are going to put together this current fiscal year's grant program in the next month or so. So
Okay.
we'll be releasing another opportunity. We're just spending a little time thinking about how to be most strategic about it and get the best value for our buck, which I know you all want us to do.
Anything else? Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, no, thank you. I have three. Hi, this is great.
Good morning.
Good morning. So you just bear with me real quick. The first one is just kind of a yes or no. Is there transit connectivity to Shiawassee?
We have a bus route on Grand River Avenue that drops off. One spot's at Power Road, I wanna say, and the other is shortly down the street near school. So we do have a couple of bus stops that are in proximity to the park, so there is an opportunity to use transit to reach the asset in Shiawassee.
That is good enough, and that is right next door. Two, riddle me my memory correct. I feel like 3 years ago, we worked on a bridge across the river there. That is there now? Or what happened with that?
There's two bridges. I believe the one you might be referring to is at the west end of the park.
Okay,
And yes, that one is there.
great.
Yeah, that was a scout project and they completed it.
Oh, good for them.
Yep.
My third question is just looking at the Google Maps. Flanders Park is remarkably cloistered away.
Yep.
Could you just, I guess, comment on how this is going to be valuable as a city asset, given that?
So a little bit of history. Flanders Park was the former site of Flanders Public Elementary School. The school district, Farmington Public Schools downsized and Flanders was one of the schools slated for closure. The property was sold to a private developer who put a housing development there, did the right thing, gave back the parkland to the city, reserved 2 3/4 acre plot for that. We've been investing heavily in that park because it was very asset poor. The extracted park equipment did not pass necessary safety inspections, was not fit for reinstallation. So it was kind of, not so nice. That park's proximity to Farmington Hills. So the south side of Farmington is bounded by Farmington Hills to the east and the west and Livonia to the south. That small community park is actually serving multiple communities surrounding that Flanders housing subdivision, all walkable, bikeable. Because if you want to get to the next closest recreation asset, you have to cross a 4-lane county road, Farmington, to get to Gill Elementary, which, a lot of parents are kind of not happy that that would be the next closest recreation asset. So it's a very housing dense area if you especially look to the east where the Farmington Hills neighborhood abuts it. So there's a lot of usage potential that we wanted to activate by adding assets to this space. And in our Parks and Rec Master Plan, you'll notice there's not a lot of parking because that's what we expect is that the community is using that park surrounding it. We're not expecting people to travel in to recreate there. It's more for the community itself in the south side of town.
Which I love, and it does look like you've got a little sidewalk path sneaking through the woods there.
Yeah, that walking path was one of the other projects we did there. We paved that about 2 years ago. We had a lot of walkers in there. It was getting overgrown. Again, we took advantage of some other paving projects that were happening in the city and said, can you please pave this too? It was a pretty easy add-on. We've installed a playscape there that was done with the support of the local households. There was a fundraising campaign that doesn't have a homeowners association, and $15,000 of private contributions were presented to the city council to match to buy a playscape for that park. So the residents are very engaged. They have a high sense of ownership for the park. They're super excited about having, something for the grown-ups, in addition to all of the recreation assets that we've put in there. So it's exciting, and the neighborhood's very jazzed about it, so.
I love that. Good for you. Thank you.
If you have an interest, these are fairly standardized, and that's how they keep the costs low. There's one at Huffman Park in Madison Heights that Priority Health also funded, and I know there's one on the Oakland University campus as well.
Awesome. Anything else? Great. Motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays?
Awesome. Thank you.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much for your support.
I'm glad he came because I don't think I could have answered some of those
Hey,
questions.
look behind door number 3. Hey, Mayor, I have something for you.
I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board item 9B, an interlocal agreement with the school district of the city of Pontiac. Moved by Commissioner Erickson Called, seconded by, all of you raise your hands. We'll give that to Commissioner Taylor.
Hello
Hello.
again. So just a quick reminder, as part of our whole ARPA Healthy Communities plan, we are in the midst of implementing now. One of the elements of that was a partnership agreement with the city of Pontiac. We're taking on the management and operation of what was formerly known as the Hawthorne Park on Telegraph Road, just up the road here, and now is called Pontiac Oaks. It's really something to see if you get a chance and you've got a couple of minutes to kill, just go over there and see the transformation that's been ongoing there. This is a park where they turned over the keys to us and asked us to take it over in a week. And it's a testament to the awesome people that work at Oakland County Parks, the way they have stepped up to do, I think we pulled 10 dumpsters full of garbage and refuse out of there. We've reopened the bathrooms for the first time in 20 plus years, new fishing dock, and this spring and summer, the lion's share of the ARPA money will be spent there and major construction projects. So if you're familiar with the property, when you pull in to the right, there is a driveway that ends up going to nowhere, big gravel area there that people have associated as being part of the park, but is not part of the park. It is actually the site of the former Hawthorne Elementary School that was operated by the school district. And it's become a bit of no man's land and attracting a lot of unsanctioned, unwanted activity. So as part of our overall plan, we had been trying to get this property added to the park for the benefit of both sides of the property boundaries. And because it's owned by the school district, our first attempt was to go in with the city of Pontiac and offer to purchase it, with the city purchasing it and us providing a reimbursement grant for half the cost. We found in conversations over the last year that they have a general aversion to selling property, period. And building that relationship, we found that the best approach was to copy the same approach we had with the city of Pontiac and enter into a long-term operating agreement where they could retain ownership of the property, but we can activate it for recreational use. They have taken up that agreement. It's very similar to the terms that we have with the city of Pontiac. It's a collaborative relationship where we work together on the planning decisions for the park. Obviously, I think we're gonna try to focus a little bit more on Pontiac youth in this area and take the input from the school district to see what we can accomplish there. So it's an 18.96 acre parcel, and a nice addition to that is an item you passed at your last meeting. We had another approximately 20 acre portion of the property facing on Walton that was totally funded with a Ducks Unlimited grant. So we're basically adding 40 acres at no acquisition cost to the taxpayers. And in the end of all of this, we're gonna have a really first-class, lovely park for not only the residents of Pontiac, but the residents of the region to enjoy. So happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you. Questions? One measly question, is the term length and expiration date the same as that for the adjacent city long-term?
There's a slight difference in that the school district wanted to have the right to reclaim it back, but the agreement spells out that if they did that, they would have to pay us back for the depreciated retained value of any capital improvements that we made on the property. I don't think they have any plans to, but again, there's this sort of general reluctance to tie down property that if, you know, at some point in the future, they may need it to build a school. You know, the school district's kind of going in the other direction right now in terms of slimming down their facilities, so it seems unlikely, but that's just a slight difference from the Pontiac agreement.
Appreciate it. I understand it takes a lot of time to rebuild relationships between societies, and I'm here for the long run. Anything else? No? All right, motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Sweet, thanks everyone. Moving on then to item 9C, I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board amendment to interlocal partnership agreement with the city of Southfield. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Loops.
So similar to the last agreement, this is an implementation issue with our ARPA Healthy Communities Plan. Just a reminder, we are taking on half of what was known as the Beachwoods Golf Course in the city of Southfield. And we're in the process of doing the construction and the restoration work to that, make it a nice nature preserve with walking trails. Minor issue in the city side of the boundary, they decided they wanted to locate a physical structure that encroached on our side of the boundary that we initially delineated. So this is just a correction to slightly reduce the acreage that's under our agreement. It's less than an acre's difference, so fairly technical from our standpoint anyways.
Questions, comments, concerns? Commissioner Christensen.
Yeah, you mentioned transit, so on all your projects, is a bus stop a consideration for you?
It's definitely something we can consider and look for in the planning stage. And I'm not familiar with whether there is one stop here or not, but I do know the commissioner from the area, so we'll have to talk about that if there's a problem. It's a very popular Park, and it's also where the city's community center is located. So I'd be surprised if there isn't a stop there.
I don't know.
Well,
That's a
let's
good
get on
question.
that.
I don't know.
All right,
I always drive.
we're on it. Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Commissioner Christensen, I appreciated you bringing that up.
I appreciate you mentioning it before.
Yeah. All right, motion on the table is to recommend to the board. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote. I will also just say, it's really nice to see our former colleague Janet Jackson's signature on my screen.
Yes. Yes.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays?
Thank you. Moving along really swimmingly, everyone. I would now entertain a motion to recommend to finance item 9D, grant acceptance FY25 DNR Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act grant. Moved by Commissioner Lubes, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. All right, what do we got?
Okay, $150,000 grant, urban forestry program that we will utilize as part of our ARPA projects to do some reforestation and some of the ARPA project areas there. And happy to answer any questions I could try.
How many
I
trees?
have too many things on this agenda.
How many trees does one grant buy?
I don't know.
I'd be shocked if you did. It's
We
probably.
could make something up.
Anything else? Commissioner Joliet?
Just a comment, I do like that this grant includes for the planting, maintenance and inventories, because as we've discussed, grant acceptance come with
Ongoing
sometimes
costs, yeah.
unforeseen costs, and I like that this can be dispersed.
Absolutely, well,
Good point.
I sit proud of my team for going after every little dollar they could find out there.
No? All right. Motion on the table is to recommend to finance. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You have 7 yeas, 0 nays?
Thank you very much. Get those native trees planted back in Oakland County.
Okay, we're on it. Thank you.
That concludes our Parks and Recreation section, folks, and now we've just got item 10, which is a discussion for our benefit on OCHN. I know Commissioner Christensen and Commissioner Lubes had briefly talked about it this morning. We've also got Director Lazenby on the Zoom call. Does anyone want to kick it off, or should I toss it over to Dana for a brief intro?
We received applications for 3 of the 4. Tracy had gotten word that one of them, John Paul Torres, is not seeking reappointment. So I just wanted to give you that information.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Lubes.
Dennis Cowan, the chair of the OCHN board, called me yesterday and he reported he did speak to John Paul Torres and that he was interested in seeking reappointment, but I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't
I didn't
receive an
speak.
application from him, and Tracy he was kind of on the fence, but it's my understanding that, Tracy, you can share, but that he wasn't interested and did not apply.
Okay.
I'm surprised by that.
Me too.
Me too.
Well, we've got some time, so we will confirm his yes or no. Regardless, I wouldn't mind tossing it to Dana a little bit. I just want to say thank you for popping in and joining us. If you could just talk a little bit about how things are going on the board and if there's anything we should be aware of as we look to reappoint or just, I guess we're appointing, but it could be the same people for these 4 seats.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for including me in the process. I really, really appreciate it. You know, I've been around for a long time doing work with the boards and, of course, across AVAL and now here at Oakland Community Health Network for about 4 years now. I think this will be my 5th year, so I'm happy to say that I'm still in there and still serving. And I have to thank you all because the board that I have currently is amazing. I have to tell you. And it's interesting because Dennis was a little intimidating for me at first when I found out he was appointed to the board, being from such a large law firm, right? But the beauty of the board members we have currently, honestly, is the fact that many of them have family members or are individuals that we have served or have received services. And that brings a whole wealth of just commitment to our board, and also really understanding what some of our challenges are and help with working through those challenges. So I have to say our board is amazing. I know that Mr. Young is one of the ones that is asking for reappointment. He brings a wealth of knowledge, and just his own personal experiences have been amazing. Now Kaya Newman, Ms. Newman has been on the board for I think almost 20 years, maybe a little less than that, but she's also had amazing input and works with one of our providers as well. And then also Yvette Woodruff is also one of our board members who also has great experience with accreditation and things of that nature. So her questions and everything and the guidance that they provide to me and support that they provide to me has been absolutely amazing. So sometimes some of our board members have challenges because of their busy schedules, and our meetings are in the evening, and so they have family things. And so a lot of that commitment really is truly taken away from what other things they could be doing. This is not a paid board per se. They get a stipend, but I don't think that drives anybody to participate and give the amount of attention and commitment that those board members have given us. So I'm absolutely happy to see those individuals returning.
I appreciate that. Commissioner Lubes.
A few years ago, there was some turnover with board members, but for the last 3 years, there is stability in there, and so they're able to accomplish more work with the knowledge and experience they bring to the board.
Appreciate that. Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, since we're at this important process, I need to understand it. I think I'm like the newest person on this board, so I really want to understand the process. When you have appointments, how do you go about, you ask the current people if they want to stay, or do you just post that the opening is coming up? What's the process before it gets to us?
Oh, it's a term. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a term like a lot of our other things. And traditionally, we will ask people, incumbents, if they're interested in being reappointed.
Okay.
If it's non-controversial and people do want to keep their jobs, we have tended to not solicit. If there are any openings, though, we could do a solicitation, and it could be a very open thing, or it could be a rather tailored thing. For instance, in this one, general public is probably a pretty easy position to fill because that's general public, but we have someone who's like, the job is someone who is working in mental health services, and it's quite a bit more challenging to like find someone who's working in mental health services and interested in this. But that is, yes. Any other input on that one? No. Did that help, Commissioner?
It helps, because I'm trying to understand, we want to get the best people for this, so when somebody comes before us, if that happens, I would like to know what they're looking for in the process to get that person here. That's all I'm trying to understand is the processes.
Commissioner Gershenson.
Well, on this particular board, the qualifications that they're looking for are mandated by the state.
Okay.
So we have to fill those categories in this board. It's not always true of some of the other boards.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Anything else? Anything else for Dana while we have her? No? All right, Dana, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For all of you then, what do we want the process to be? It sounds like we've got 3 absolutely by everyone confirmed at being reappointed. Do we want to just circle back next LAGO meeting about John Paul Torres and see what he says? We have some time. We have 3 LAGOs before this expires.
We will need them if we have to do interviews.
We will need that. Especially this one because he would be the general public person. Commissioner.
I would recommend that we ask for applications in the event that he decides that he wants to be reappointed. We could receive his application, just so that we're not caught trying to scramble at the last minute to get this filled. of course, I agree that especially given how long he's been on the board, his wealth of experience is important, but if he's not interested, we should delay. It's just my thoughts.
Any other thoughts? Commissioner Hoffman, I saw you shaking your head, yes.
I agree. Yes, I do.
So you're saying post it now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying post
now?
it now in the event that because there seems to be some conflicting information about whether he's interested or not. And in the event that he is not interested, we should have applications ready to go. And if by the next meeting, we find out that, yeah, he definitely wants to reapply, then we don't, all we've done is received applications. We haven't done.
Of which his very well could be one.
Right, exactly.
Or somebody could reach out to him.
You wanna?
They will.
Yeah, okay, I'd be the first, pin
I
him
mean,
down.
you already spoke to him,
Yeah.
right, personally?
And the deadline to receive his application for reappointment was February 1st. And he said, I will not be applying,
Oh,
reapplying.
okay.
He has other commitments and he wanted to focus his time on other things.
Well, I think we should open that up then.
Sounds like his arm twisting was unsuccessful.
But he's got time to change his mind then. So to confirm then, what I'm thinking is we open up one solicitation for the general public role. But we're okay with the other three.
Right.
Commissioner Lubes.
Are you taking nominations for John Young, Micaiah, and Yvette Woodruff?
Sure. No?
Well, I mean, if you wanted to say, I wanna reappoint these three, you can do it in one motion. I don't think you need to, since we already have the information here and there,
Sure. Let's be proactive. If everyone's all right with that. I will, No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Because then we can do the other one in later. Is it a formal motion?
Yes.
All right. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Taylor. Madam Clerk, would you please, whenever you can type that up to your satisfaction?
I just said reappoint, and we're
Okay.
talking about the 3 people that have submitted applications for reappointment.
Sounds great.
And then you'll reach out just to confirm, Tracy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
We have 7 yeas and 0 nays.
Sweet. Thank you, everyone. So we're recommending the reappointments of John Young, Melika Newman, and Yvette Woodruff. And then as a separate, do we need a motion to do it as a job solicitation or an appointment solicitation?
Sure.
Did you want to make that one for the general public?
Sure. I would move that we open up applications for the position of member of the general public on the OCHN board.
I would second that. Whenever you want to
Yeah.
prompt that one.
Who's the second?
Me,
Oh, great, thank you.
I know. Throwing my name in the ring sometimes.
We have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Probably should have asked this before. Do we have a standard closing window on
Yeah, what I usually do, let me see, I did set a date for applications.
I think you're in California.
And
I think you're in California. You're Pacific
Yeah.
time.
Be here too.
14
I
days.
believe the yeah,
Valentine's Day?
Look at the flag
that's
they
right,
served.
14th is the date that would
Don't
be.
melt all the snow.
All right, tell all your besties, those applications are due on Valentine's Day. That's it. Anything else on this? No? All right. Well, that moves us into public comment number 2. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on any item at all? You've got 3 minutes apiece at the front of the table. Anyone? Go ahead. Just start with your name and where you live.
Huh?
The front of the table.
Oh, that's right. What am I doing?
This is your first day here.
I've never done this before, right? Good morning, my name's Lori Loma, and I just want to address some issues we're still having that nobody wants to help, is really helping us with. On January 24th, 2025, I went with a dozen advocates to the State Bar in Lansing. This is my speech I prepared to the Board of Commissioners. I stand before you today after a 7-year journey in probate regarding my mother, her bank accounts, and her Wixom condominium that her and I shared since 1993. Before coming to Lansing, I visited the State Bar of Michigan's website and was struck by your purpose statement, which reads, here's a copy of it. The State Bar of Michigan shall aid in promoting improvements in the administration of justice and advancement in jurisprudence, in improving relations between the legal profession and the public, and in promoting the interest of the legal profession in the state. These words should serve as our North Star. However, I come to you today because this noble purpose is not being fulfilled within our probate court system. What others and I have witnessed is deeply troubling. Members of the bar engaging in activities that cross the line from civil proceedings into criminal behavior. My personal experience, which I even have a copy of my story here, experience in Oakland County where my deceased mother and I fell victim to what I call the probate predator playbook, still going on. I've discovered the judges and attorneys in probate courts are systematically failing to follow the rules of civil procedure and judicial canons. This isn't just happening in Michigan. It's a national crisis that demands our immediate attention. The guardianship mill system operates like a well-oiled machine, recycling the same attorneys through cases, and that's the truth, or especially, creating a disturbing pattern of exploitation. This practice directly contradicts everything the legal profession should stand for. When we speak of improvements in the administration of justice, we must acknowledge that our current system needs more than minor adjustments. It requires fundamental reform.
Thank you.
I join forces today with concerned Michigan citizens who seek answers from the board. We need legal theories and methods to effectively oversee these probate proceedings. The current framework has proven insufficient to protect our vulnerable citizens, our elderly and disabled family members.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more thing.
Okay.
Just one, yeah, I'll go quick.
10 more seconds.
The purpose statement of the State Bar of Michigan isn't just a collection of noble words. It's a promise to the people of Michigan. Today, I ask you to honor the promise. Let's work together to transform the probate system from one that too often preys on the vulnerable into one that truly protects them. And it just keeps continuing and going on. And I've been in there 7 years now.
Thank you for the update.
My poor mother's been gone 3.
Hi there.
Hello,
Just start with your name, where you live.
my name is Christina Bood, and I live on the east side, but I had to come into Oakland County because my mother lived here.
Okay.
I also went to school there, had several apartments at that time, so I'm connected. Okay, so my mother was taken into guardianship when I legally went to court to get guardianship of her. There were specific reasons why, and under the law, I was supposed to have, as the daughter, and been able to take guardianship, move her to the east side, and have her with me because was a recently retired Detroit school teacher of 40 years, very competent, had all the resources available, the time, 24-hour medical experience to care for her with the utmost concern. And when I went to court, I wasn't even allowed to talk. When I walked in, they already had, you mentioned a John Young, that's not a attorney John Young, I hope.
It is.
It is?
Oh.
Attorney John Young, they used to be here in probate court.
I don't know.
Well, John Young, the one I know, was standing right there. And the judge said, oh, he's gonna be your mother's guardian. And then I said, whoa, what's going on here? And I went home and found on Channel 7 News, there was a whole investigation about Oakland County. A whole slew of people that had complained because their rights were being denied and being siphoned into this tunnel of corruption. Anyway, he took over without me even being able to say a word, and she died under him. So I'm spending the rest of my retirement as an advocate. You might want to read this book here, Killers of the Flower Moon, on the bestseller of book clubs. It tells how when the Osage Indians obtained wealth from the oil, all of a sudden the government came in and assigned guardians. They said they weren't allowed, they weren't capable of handling their money. So what they did is they ended up killing off family members and taking over guardianship of the wealthy people. And it ended up that they ended up dying, the family member, and the guardian got all the money. So we see a similar thing going here. You have Judge O'Brien was on TV saying that he supported the bigotry of Judge Ryan. He sure does, because when I went into court to observe for someone that was short $500,000 from one of the nefarious, what's his name? Yours?
John White.
No, the attorney.
Ehrlich and Frazier.
Ehrlich and Frazier. Yeah, he approached me knowing my last name was Abood, and he asked me repeatedly, what's the matter, don't you understand English? I have all the transcripts here. I have the judicial grievance, and I also have the transcripts of his words on camera in his own courtroom, calling me out repeatedly. What's the matter? Don't you understand English? And then he stretched it out. English. So I went and filed a police report for ethnic intimidation. And I have a whole slew of transcripts here where he constantly calls us out if we come into court watch in his courtroom for victims. He calls us out by name because he watches these videos. And he calls us out by name as we go into court, trying to intimidate us. Here we go. But we're not intimidated by thieves and corruption at all. So we've been working up in Lansing because we got no response here. And we've been on trying to get guardrails around our state laws. We also work with federal agencies and try to get, because we work with people from all over the country where they see the same type of corruption. We had a investigator, award-winning investigator that spent a year investigating the courts, probate courts in Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and her brilliant. We even nominated this for a Pulitzer Prize because it was so in-depth. And if you go to the website and look it up, The Fortress is what she spent a year investigating. All these courts, all the judges, all the attorneys, all the real estate dealings where they grab your guardianship and then sell your home to, we have Russian names of real estates in the end, where they sell them, flip them to LLCs created by attorneys here, where they sell the house for half the price once they get a hold of it, when they get guardianship, and then they flip it they sell it on the open market. She's a real estate agent, she knows how it goes, and they all profit, okay? So it's all in here, all the evidence, and we've turned this over. You see a repetitive, which is what the Judicial Tenure Commission wants, which I'm preparing now for Judge Hallmark because she was the judge on my case. And you have a repetitive pattern of behavior. That's what the judicial tenure looks like for. Here it is on the front page news. Another victim, she was a nurse, and Judge Hallmark denied her guardianship of her mother. She had to go with a supervisor to watch the nurse visit her mother. Eventually she fought, and same thing, John Young, Judge Hallmark, trafficked elder out of the daughter legally and into their hands so that they could steal, and they stole quite a bit from her, from what I understand. They ended up living in a trailer when she had a $1 million home.
Okay, thank you for your update.
Yes, and here we are. Lawmakers try to seek, we've been up there for the past, how many years with lawmakers? And
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's fine, yeah. Just brief here, we caught one of the guardians not allowing an elder to vote. So we called up in Lansing, they got an ACLU lawyer and charged her with felony. She's out of business now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Christine, for that one.
Hi, everybody, Jody White. I went to the budget, and so I have a timed 3 minutes and 10 seconds, so.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. The Michigan Court Rule serves as a vital framework governing the conduct of our public servants within the justice system. When we consider that these positions are funded by tax dollars, your money and mine, the significance of these rules become even more profound. Today, I want to focus just on Oakland County, where taxpayers fund the probate court dedicated to administer justice. There's 21 judicial administrative employees upstairs and 34 operational staff members in probate with an annual budget of $9 million. I know you're talking about parks, but this is $9 million up in our court system. I want to examine a court rule, MCR 5707, which outlines the strict duties of a conservator. These individuals are entrusted with managing and protecting the assets of vulnerable citizens. They must file detailed inventories within 56 days of their appointment, maintain meticulous records, and provide regular accounting of these activities. Their transparency isn't about bureaucracy, it's a fundamental safeguard of public trust. This man from Farmington just told me that my winery that sold on January 10th, I know who the owner is now. It's gone. And this guy was so gracious to tell me. And guess what? It's our property from 1977, but now a new family has got it. So may we pray for that family because we lost it wrongfully. Similarly, our judges, court officers, and public attorneys are bound by specific rules of conduct under MCR 8.110 and related provisions. These rules mandate punctuality, efficiency, and impartial services. When we pay for public servants through our tax dollars, we're not just paying them for their time, we're investing in the integrity of our justice system. One of the 4 financial risks that you guys identify in the county budget is legal risk. This includes potential federal lawsuits for individuals who have criminal convictions reversed due to the errors by your legal professionals. But the wrongfully convicted aren't the only ones concerned. Families harmed by incompetent and negligent actions in that probate court represents another serious financial liability for Oakland County taxpayers. We've been coming to you since 2018, 3 months before I was taken down by a sheriff and arrested because I'm a whistleblower. Consider this, every time a judge shows bias in their decision, every case that unnecessarily is delayed, every duty that's performed half-heartedly, these all represent a direct cost to us taxpayers. More critically, every case mishandled, every duty neglected, every instance of incompetence doesn't just harm individual families, it creates a financial burden that all taxpayers must bear. With a $9 million in annual funding, citizens have every right to expect professional, competent services from every court employee upstairs. The Michigan Court Rules are not mere suggestions. They represent our collective expectation that those who serve in public capacities will do so with with diligence, integrity, and respect for the taxpayers who make their positions possible. Whether it's a conservator managing an estate or a judge presiding over a case, the principles remain the same. Public service demands public accountability. Commissioners who raise concerns, which we have a couple here, and Ms. Powell is in the next meeting, who raise concerns about the impact today are taking a proactive stance to address these critical issues. By identifying and addressing incompetent legal professionals, we can begin to close the pipeline of costly litigation and, more importantly, prevent the devastating impact on families who rely on our probate court system. In closing, these rules exist because the performance of duty by tax-funded positions isn't just about doing a job. It's about upholding the trust that citizens place in our institutions. The stakes are too high and the costs, both human and financial, are too great to accept anything less than full compliance with these vital rules of conduct. Every taxpayer dollar spent should translate into conscientious, ethical, and efficient public service that truly serves and protects our community. Again, we'll be back again next month. We appreciate you listening to us because we're gonna keep coming until we get a meeting as a community with you guys and them. We want to work together. We've lost everything. Moms are gone, we've lost everything.
John Young took
And John Young's getting a job here. I'm praying for this place. You guys need to research who you guys are vetting in, so anyways, thank you.
I will say, just, we got a note from Dana last week, the director, not the same John Young.
Thank you, Jesus.
Lucky you.
No, thank you, and we appreciate that, thank you.
And my judge was Kathleen Ryan.
Yes,
Thank
my last name is Johnson, and I am used to
A lot
there
of
being a lot of us, so, any other public comments today?
Thank you.
Thank everyone, yeah.
I do wanna make a comment. These aren't the only stories we've been hearing about this. I hear from people on the street. I think, and I don't know what avenue we need to take, but I think we need to take a closer look at this because this could happen to any one of our families.
Everyone.
And we need to be open, honest, and transparent. And I think somehow, I don't know the avenue or who would do it, but I think we need to look into this. There's a lot of complaints, not just these 3 people coming here complaining. I've heard from people on the street, and I had somebody recently suggest to me, they thought they might end up in probate, and then somebody told them, you don't wanna go to Oakland County probate.
I would support that.
Commissioner,
Pardon?
no, I'll call you in just a second. It's an interesting thing, and I think that a in-depth conversation at one of our less agenda-heavy meetings is not a bad idea. It's very frustrating in my conversations with Corp Counsel because so much of it is state. They're state employees, it's a state agency, it's administered through Oakland County, but it's not Oakland County, which hand ties us a little bit, quite a bit, but Commissioner.
Well, I was just wondering which is the liaison committee to the courts? Is it public health?
I think it's PHS.
Yeah, so it isn't this committee. But certainly we could have the administrator come in.
Have who?
The administrator
He
in the
knows.
courts.
Ed Hutton.
Ed Hutton.
Commissioner Lips, did you have any?
I absolutely support Commissioner Hoffman in your statements. And we did talk more in depth a few years ago about that, but our hands were in effect tied because we don't have that authority, but we can revisit that and see what will make a difference.
Representative JD, Commissioner Harrison Gall, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very sympathetic to your positions. I have, as a member of the bar, I hear stories too. And in particular about Oakland County Probate Court, and we've all heard about Judge Ryan. We can make statements, we can ask questions, but we're simply limited in the authority of what we can do. We can't unelect the judges.
No,
We can,
we
have to
want
do that.
or
Ma'am, you had your time to talk, this is my time to talk, okay?
Yeah, but you're not speaking properly. Because you're a lawyer.
I'm sorry, this is my meeting. Commissioner Gall.
Again, absolutely sympathetic to your position. Wish I could do something about it personally. As a member of the bar, it offends me that members of the bar are acting in disrespectful, unethical manner. You need to understand that we'll do what we can. But what we can do has constitutional limitations. This is a separation of powers issue set by the Michigan Constitution. Unfortunately, the State Bar of Michigan and the Judicial Tenure Commission are the people that have the authority to do something about lawyers who are acting unethically or judges that are acting unethically. And I'm willing to do whatever I can. It's just what I can do has limitations.
Just let me give one sentence, please.
Ma'am,
Just one.
We can after the meeting, not right now, public comment
Because
is
this
over.
is,
I'll be
But
happy to
I'm-
talk to you after the meeting.
this is given out
After the
to
meeting,
the
please.
population.
Ma'am, please, after the meeting.
Okay.
Is there anything else from commissioners? Moving on then to other business, is there any other business? Anything else, any new business? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and adjourn, it's 10:06, thank you everyone.